Hello and welcome to Community Viewpoint. I'm your host for this segment, Maria Guerra, and I have the pleasure of being joined today by David Humes. Hello, how are you doing?
That would be me.
That's you. Yeah. So, Dave, you do a lot of stuff. You do a lot. You're a very busy guy. So I appreciate you coming on the show today. Today, you're going to talk about what we have in front of us, some drumming stuff.
Hey, percussion.
So tell me what's going on. Well, first, let's start a little bit back. You teach drum lessons here as well, here at the station. So, yeah.
Stop dreaming and start playing.
Yeah, exactly.
So give us a call if you wanted some, learn how to play professionally drums.
Nice. And so, you've been playing drums for a long time.
Long time.
A long time. So let's do a little.
40 years?
I mean, like the short version of the history.
Wait, I'm only 30. How can that be?
So when did you start playing drums?
13 years old.
Oh, that's awesome.
13, so I'm 63. So what's that, 50? 50 years. Wow. How did that happen?
And you played in Nashville and Vegas. You played everywhere.
Well, all over Northern California.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And Nashville.
And Nashville.
That's awesome. And you're getting ready to go on another trip to do
Yes.
some drumming stuff.
Yes, percussion. I'm
See how I
doing
segued that in there?
a drum circle thing.
Yeah, let's talk about
I'm
that.
facilitating a drum circle for a retreat in East Texas. It's a health and longevity retreat. So anybody that has any percussion instruments that you would like to donate to the cause, that would be awesome. We have a phone number you can call. Either give or I'll buy, cheap. Or if you want to donate it, or I'll give it back. But it's going to be probably about 40 people there.
That's awesome.
So I have a djembe drum, and so if you have drums, these are
Let's see. Tell me about these drums.
congas, a little tambourine, shaker.
That's cool. Is that one of those? That's just a shaker. It's not one of those rain sticks.
No, those
Okay.
are like these really long
Oh,
things,
okay.
and it sounds like it's raining.
Those things are cool.
Yeah,
Do you have one of those?
I do not.
Oh, you need to get one because those
Or
are
one
cool.
of those didgeridoo drum or whatever those. Those things.
I think so. I've seen them on a movie or
I
something.
can't remember the name, but I've seen, like at New Age festivals, I've seen guys doing that, with incense around somebody's body,
Oh,
smudging
okay.
them and stuff.
And then this is maraca.
Maraca.
Oh, I got it right.
So yeah, if anybody has any lying around the house you never use, let me know because it'd be put to good use.
All right.
In Texas. How y'all doing?
That's
I feel like
awesome.
more
So, do you find? I know you're going for this retreat. Has this helped you
September.
over the years? Like, it's really like therapeutic to play, right? Like,
Yeah, it's kind of bipolar, as in really primal and spiritual at the same time.
yeah.
You get this energy going with everybody. In 2004, I actually went to LA to learn drum circling and to be a certified drum circle facilitator.
That's
This guy,
awesome.
Arthur Hull, he's like the guy that teaches drum circling. So yeah, you get this rhythm going, and everybody joins in and try to keep it simple. But I got to teach everybody to listen more than being self-conscious. Because they get too hung up on themselves, and then they kind of lose the beat or whatever. Think the whole energy of the whole. You just have to experience it. Maybe I ought to have a local one here to.
Yeah, that was my next question.
people
Do you think after this one that you might branch out and start doing them other places? And
I don't know. I
think
thought about doing it locally before that, even just to,
Yeah.
The band we had in Nashville, and he's still there, called the Love Drums. The Love
cool.
Drums. That was very cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I think this community would love that because you have seen it in Pahrump, there's a tragedy or there's, one of the kids has got a scholarship or being sent to some special thing and the community comes together to raise money or, just for whatever reason, or the festivals. I'll give Doug Dubin a plug, his festival.
Oh, yeah.
He, his festival was very successful, and this community loves to come together and the powwow. So I think that would be great.
Maybe we should do, yeah. Well,
Yeah,
I'm going to be.
we're making things happen here on Community Viewpoint.
Yeah, unfortunately, our band can't play the Fall Fest because I'm going to be in Texas doing this.
Okay.
But if I was here, They'd probably dig a drum circle there at the fair, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now you have a year
Next
to plan
time,
it.
2022.
I think it'd be cool to plan, just something, they could probably do one here, actually.
Here? In the studio here?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Well, they got the killer audio
Yeah,
studio
get all
there.
your students together and,
Sure.
yeah, drum circle recital. See?
Do it.
We're getting a lot of things done here. So actually, why don't we do this? If anybody is interested in being a part of that here, why don't they give you a call?
Sure.
And
Yeah.
then,
Great.
because and then just keep on the lookout. I always find it really, like, there's all the time, if you just keep an eye out, if there's a certain instrument that you're wanting to play, or whether it be drums, guitar, bass, piano, whatever, it's always a good thing to just kind of keep looking for that online, because you don't have to go and buy like an expensive, to a retail shop and spend $1,000 on something. You can just keep looking and find a good deal, and then when you're ready, you have it, and you haven't spent like a whole lot. Have you found that's like a good way to do
Talking
it?
about searching for instruments to buy.
Yeah.
Well, we do have a music store in town, don't we?
Oh yeah, and we have Foxter too. Do they have drums there?
Think so.
Yeah, they might.
I haven't been
They
there for a
might.
while, but yeah, there's Craigslist. There's these Facebook have groups for Pahrump too, and what's happening in Pahrump.
Yeah.
I need help in Pahrump or whatever.
And I think actually Foxter, that's a good place to go too. I think they have lessons,
Pump up the local.
like guitar lessons and stuff.
Yep.
And so if your kids are adults, anybody wants to go in
I don't know if he's
for
teaching
guitar lessons.
Guitar here.
I
I'm
think he
teaching
does
drums here,
do.
so
I think he
forget.
does do guitar there, and they have
Got piano
strings.
here.
They
They used
have
to have piano
chords, so they have all kinds of stuff. I know we've been over there for emergency chords that are out.
I found a drum set for $400 with cymbals and hardware and everything at a flea market kind of garage sale thing.
Yeah, it's crazy where you'll find. So if you're interested in that, just keep looking, and then you get a hold of Dave to take your drum lessons.
Because I already have 2 drum sets, so it's like that's what I need. Another
You
one.
can never have too many music instruments.
At one time, I had like 5 or 6 drum sets. It's like,
Oh my gosh.
got to get rid of some of these things.
So if you're in that position, then also call Dave to donate some of this stuff for his drum retreat.
Yeah. I should have brought
That's
my gym
pretty
baby.
cool. So you're going to drive over there.
Drive in 20 hours.
You're going to drive in one shot.
No, I'm going to probably spend the night somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And how long do these drum retreats last? Is it just like the one day, or is it like a workshop
It's
over days?
7 days.
Okay.
I was going to pay money, and it was $2,500 for 1 week. It's a health and longevity where it's total immersion, where they have Tai Chi classes and
that's cool.
meditation and yoga and just all the drum circling. And I'm like, I'm ready to, pay for this week. And she goes, well, I've been telling everybody you're going to be doing 2 weeks. And I'm like, well, I can only afford 1 week. And she goes, well, how about if you're on staff? And I'm like, meaning
All right.
free, $4,500 for 2 weeks, so I get to go for free, but I'm on staff, so I'm do drum circling every day. So it's
That's awesome.
Sunday through Saturday. It's like September 18th, 19th or so for 2 weeks until October 2nd or something.
Okay.
So I'm good to stay there, and I get all the food. He's all this juices, killer, super healthy. This guy.
I wish we had that here.
This guy, Gary
If you're
Knoll,
listening
man.
and you want a business, open a juice bar.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
His animals live like twice as long as normal animals do. This guy is
that's
like
awesome.
the world awesome guru on longevity. So if
Nice.
you want to live a long, healthy life, he's the guy to listen to.
All right.
GaryKnoll.com, N-U-L-L.
And so for those 2 weeks, Breakin' Out won't have any gigs, and
Nope.
that's my
Well,
segue into talking about
They
the
might
band.
hire some other buddy to fill in or something. Bob might play drums and have
Okay.
a different. And Donnie Castleman from Vegas will come play bass maybe. But
Oh, he's rad.
yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, he's super rad. So
Can't lose.
tell
But our
me about
next
the
gig-
band.
Our next gig is September 11th. 9/11. Oh man, we just did Friday the 13th. What luck, right?
Oh my gosh. Well, you're bringing joy to an otherwise
We try to.
maybe
We try. Spread our
yeah.
bliss and love to the world.
Yeah, there you go.
It's going to be at the Bearded Lady,
All right.
September 11th, 8 to midnight. Don't miss it. Bring your family.
And how would they find out or get more information about your page?
BreakinOutBand.com. 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 Now, BreakingOutBand.com will go to the same, terminates to the same website. So.
But it's really Breakin with no G.
No G, Breakin, because
Yeah.
we don't know English very well. So, BreakinOutBand.
And so in the band, obviously you play drums.
I do.
And then you have Greg Smith and Bob White.
Yeah.
And you guys play like, I don't know how you memorize so many songs, but
I don't.
It's amazing.
I'm horrible with, that's why I got an iPad there. I'm serious.
Well, it sounds
They
like
memorize
you do.
the words,
Yeah.
but I
Yeah, they don't get the iPad, the other two
I
guys.
think I've
they
got
don't,
this
they don't
hang
get
up
the other
from the
two guys.
70s because, I did a little bit too much partying and
No.
I don't have it's a belief. I got to get over that. Maybe this retreat will help me get over that. That I can't remember lyrics.
I'm
I just
sure
read
you'd
them.
be just fine
Seriously.
without that iPad.
The iPad, man, without that, but I've got a backup in my car of, printed out lyrics.
Well, it doesn't sound like it.
know.
So if you haven't seen them,
Is what it
they're
is.
a fantastic band.
have
And
fun.
go out dancing.
Oh, yeah.
From
We
the
rock,
whole-
dance, R&B, kind of funky stuff.
And private parties. So
Private
if you
parties. We're
need,
doing a biker party 2 days in a row.
Yeah, I think it's,
September 4th,
they're
3rd and 4th.
they're having a special event.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. We played for them before, and they were really super. If I were going to join a biker club, that would be the one. But I think I better get a bike first.
Right?
I mean, I have a bicycle, but not a Harley. What are you going to do?
Right. So if you have instruments, I noticed, is that right? 40 seconds? I just want to take 1 second to welcome KPVM's new technical director. He is already awesome. I can tell this is going to be great. Romano, thank you so much for everything. He's in the booth right now. Thank you.
Real pro.
And look for an episode introducing Romano here in the near future. If you have instruments, get a hold of Dave. We're going to put the number on the screen.
Bring it.
And it's for a good cause. We're doing this. It's healing. It's awesome. And let's get one locally. Get a hold of him and tell him if you're interested in participating locally.
Drum circle.
And, yeah, let's get that together.
Pump
and
it
that
up.
idea was from Community ViewPoint. Have a nice day. Hello and welcome to Community ViewPoint. I'm your host for this segment, Maria Guerra, and I have the honor today of being joined by Alicia Lewis and LeeAnn Luna. Thank you so much for coming up. Today we're going to talk about a sensitive subject, but one that needs to be talked about and one that we should continue to talk about so we can continue to help each other, right? Really? And so tell me about your program.
So I'm here to talk about the Signs of Suicide program that we run throughout Nye County School District. It starts from middle school on up through high school. So starting at 6th grade, and for some of our northern schools that may have middle schoolers at 5th grade, it'll start at that point. But that's where we really start promoting the suicide education and awareness, teaching kids how to not only treat each other, but to reach out and tell that trusted adult if they have something that they're concerned about with one of their peers. Mm-hmm. It is a parent involvement program. We want our parents to be involved. So part of that is having a parent night where we will promote the program, talk about the program, be there to answer any questions or concerns that parents might have. We do a teacher training so that all staff is aware of what to look for and what to expect during the actual program. It's a really good program, and it does more than just identify the kids that might be having thoughts of suicide. It really helps us identify kids that maybe just need a little extra support and some of that special attention from staff.
I think that's important because I think you said it right there, support.
Yeah.
Like everybody needs support. We talk about it in every aspect, support for education, support, for somebody's, talents, support for all of these things in our lives. I could probably name 100, but this is just support for their emotional well-being, just support. I think that really sums it up. You guys have a lot of ways that you reach out to the kids too. So do you announce it at the school, and then do you have social media? I'm going to let you talk about that?
Yes and yes.
Okay.
So as far as the SOS program, we try to run it at the beginning of the school year. That way we have the entire school year to work with those kids that were either identified as high risk or we identified as just needing a little bit more support. All the students on campus will watch a video. Depending on whether you're at middle school or high school, it's either a time to act or a friend for life. And in that video, it just gives some child-friendly examples of things that kids might see, you know, their peers acting out, their peers acting different, how to tell that trusted adult. And then the actual screening component does require active parent consent, where we will then screen the children that are given permission. From that point, if they are identified as high risk, then they will meet immediately with a mental health professional for further evaluation. But every kid will meet with somebody, and that's where we kind of have those conversations. And sometimes just in those conversations, things come out that, you know, maybe we've got a kid that isn't necessarily having thoughts of suicide and therefore high risk, but maybe he's super anxious about being on campus because he was home for the last year. So I think that this year is really going to bring out some different dynamics that we haven't seen in previous years and really open up that door for what do we need to do across the school campus to make sure that our kids are feeling safe and secure and welcomed, because we know that, you know, coming back to campus and different parents and different kids have different opinions on what's going on, and we want to make sure that we're respecting their right to not only privacy but what they're going through on an individual and a collective basis.
That's a good point. And when is the program running? There's certain dates that you're doing screenings, and then obviously could you do a screening like on a student that moved in later?
So the screening for the SOS program, we would not do outside of the SOS program, but screening the child and meeting with the child, absolutely.
Okay.
So the actual SOS program, we will be starting it at the end of this month. Up in some of our more northern schools, and then I believe we are set this year to conclude in November. So if there's anybody that happens to be watching and they want more information about the program or who to contact at their child's school, they can always reach out to me and I can put them in contact with the appropriate person. But as far as anything outside of the SOS program, just reach out to whoever you're comfortable with at your child's school, whether it be the teacher, the admin, social workers, counselors.
At any time.
At any time, at any school, even if it's the school janitor, they'll know who to link you up to. We also have Facebook pages. So Facebook pages are monitored by the staff, so they could always send a message. I know everybody's on social media. So sending that message through Facebook and just say, hey, I have some concerns, can somebody call me? And we will absolutely make that appropriate connection.
That's awesome. So if you're watching at any point, even if it's outside of the November window, if you're watching this on repeat, or if you've linked to this show, you can always see it on YouTube, KPVM 25, click on the YouTube link, go down to Community Viewpoint, and you can view this video at a later time as well. So if you're watching outside of that, there's so many ways to get a hold of you, and I love that the doors are open everywhere so that parents can reach out. So if you're concerned, you can email you, call you, reach out to anybody at the school, Facebook. And I think I'm glad that a lot of the schools are getting on social media so that it just opens that other door, because that's huge.
Right,
that's
and
huge.
having a multitude of ways for parents as well as kids to contact us is so critical when we're talking about mental health and suicide, because, you know, oftentimes we only have, you know, a short window that we want to intervene and interact and make sure that we're instilling back some of that hope so that they have something to look forward to and getting some resources and services. And we also have Safe Voice. Kids can use Safe Voice at any point in time, parents as well, community members, and Safe Voice, it's run by the Department of Public Safety. It links up to the appropriate school and has a multitude of reasons that they can use it for if they want to report domestic violence, child abuse, drug abuse, cutting, thoughts of suicide. So that's also another way. It goes directly to us so that we can, you know, again, intervene and provide the most appropriate resources.
It's so important, because I think there's so much kids, there's so much stress. Kids have so much stress. Like, it's not just worrying about their mental health. They're worrying about, you know, there's families worrying about food security. There's family worried right now about, you know, different bills, whether it be rent to electricity. And then then you have the actual schoolwork. Then you have the actual academic learning. So there's a lot of stress kids go through. So this is amazing.
Well, having just been through a pandemic, the general population, you can expect about 20% more people needing mental health services.
So what is the I don't know if you have brought the statistics, and I certainly didn't prepare you for that. So so what is the usual percentage or amount? And so then if we can expect about that much more, so it's going to be probably a lot more.
1 in 4 of the general population will have the symptoms of a mental health illness. Okay. So basically you can,
now we're talking maybe half.
20% more on top of that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and only about 41% receive services. 41% of the people experiencing mental health illness will receive services. So even...
so now you're talking maybe...
Even 59% of those people are not receiving services. And what's important to know is recovery is possible, and early intervention is essential, because your degree of recovery is based upon how early you get into it. So when you notice a piece of your live, love, laugh, and learn falling off, you need to get in there and fix it. Yeah, basically.
And it's just like what I want. One of the things excuse me, what I wanted to say is that, you know, if you have a cold, you're going to fix that. Right. If you have any other kind of health, something going on, you're going to fix it. If you break your arm, you're going to get a cast. So this is not something that should be stigmatized.
Sure.
And I love that you're starting in school, because you're going to catch so much that this kid's going to get help, and then they're not going to carry that into adulthood and last years and years and years before they get help, if they get help.
They've learned how to reach for help early,
yeah,
and they've learned how to fix it early, and they've learned that recovery is possible.
Absolutely. And you know, part of the stigma is that when we're talking about mental health specifically, it comes out in behaviors. So a lot of the thought behind the stigma is, well, if it's a behavior, stop doing that. You know, but we don't take that same course of thinking when somebody has a physical ailment that then affects their behaviors. You know, there is a lot of stigma, but that stigma can be broken down by having these conversations, and getting that early intervention, like LeeAnn had talked about, really can help subside and curb some of those behaviors, so that we can focus in, so that we get back to the live, laugh, love, and learn.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's really what it all boils down to.
Right.
And I think that we're moving towards that. I mean, I am so happy to hear about these programs. I mean, I think I knew about some of them. I didn't know some of the specifics, but in other aspects of the community and learning, like you have early intervention for children who are having some developmental issues, who need just a little extra support there too. You have, you know, early detection when you're talking about screening for breast cancers or other cancers. There's, you know, early signs of, you know, diabetes, how to avoid that. There's classes over there. So I mean, in all aspects, I think we think as a society, like we know the concept of early intervention. So I love that this is going to cover everything, because it's super important. You know, it's just super important. And like I said, as we open these conversations, it's just a regular thing. Oh, you need help with that? Like, it's just going to be, my hope is that, I wish you all the success, because my hope is that all these kids just start to feel so much, you know, so comfortable in just helping each other.
This program has had really good success last year, because of the COVID, we had less participation. But the more we have participate, the more kids we can catch early.
Well, yeah, teenagers
identification
especially
is the most important thing, and doing it early in the school year allows us to watch the identified kids all year round.
That's awesome.
And it really is planting a seed. You know, we're planting that seed of hope and support and awareness, and that seed will grow. You know, the more kids that we have starting at this age, the more it's going to carry on through, you know, their adolescent years and then into their early adulthood. So that's really what we want to do, is just continue to watch them grow and flourish, and, you know, hope for that positive change.
Smiles are great.
Absolutely.
So let's go through this. I would just want to show these tags, as you can see throughout the show. Thank you, Romano, in the booth. He is putting up all the lines and the numbers, and let's just keep people reaching out. And let's do the dates again. So if parents are watching, they know the dates that this is going to go on, and it's going on through all of Nye County, right?
All of Nye County, yes. That's something that's been implemented. I believe this is our 8th year now.
Oh, that's great.
You know, It starts from the top down. So to see all of our admins and, you know, all of our teachers and everything on board, and the more we can get parents on board and asking those critical questions, the more we can support their children while they're in our care.
Parents have the
awesome.
permission slips now, so they need to get them in.
All right.
And they need to get them in so they can get so they can go through the program.
Thank you so much for everything. Thank you so much for all the work that you're doing and for coming on.
Thank you.
Good night.